spring in Vermont. We currently live in Starksboro, Vermont, with USDA Zone 4B as our growing zones, and it limits us quite a bit in terms of what species we're able to utilize in perennial systems, as winter is long, hard, and vicious, and very, very cold. The cold, temperate climate of Vermont, which is much wetter, will be quite the contrast for us going to the Sonoran southwestern portion of the United States in Arizona. We take along with us over a decade each, practicing permaculture and building beautiful multi-use gardens and environments, both inside and outside, that provide multiple functions, that utilize permaculture and help us feel more connected to the planet and the processes therein. Our primary goal, fall of 2025, going through until spring 2026, will be setting up swales, installing gabions, ensuring that we have access to the property, and that we are utilizing the water on site and the structures on site to build resiliency for this homestead and for our future. The property is approximately 40 acres, just under, and it's split in half between my brother and myself. My brother Derek and his wife Ashley and their son Cade will take the northern, not quite 20 acres, while Tyler and I will uptake the southern 20-ish acres. The property my brother and I inherited from our father. He passed away in April, and he performed a quit claim deed in order for us to secure the property. This will be the third generation of Reeves on this property, starting with my grandfather in 2006. And then on his passing, he handed it over to my father and to my uncles, and then they handed it over to my father, and then my father passed and handed it over to us. When we are done, it'll be left to our descendants. And as some of you may know, my brother already has a son, Cade, and that will be our fourth generation of Reeves on the property, and we look forward to sharing some of those experiences. A huge portion of this project will also be utilizing native species and creating diverse, very wildlife-friendly landscape situations and garden spaces that give back to the overall desert community, not just to ourselves. So pollen for all of the pollinators, and fruit species for the birds and bugs, which will also call in different kinds of predatory insects and birds and lizards and all of the good things. All of the wonderful things that we need in our garden spaces and in our environments that serve purposes, multiple purposes each. And we want to give them access and create a very wonderful space for that. Another huge portion of this project and our ambitions overall is to create community in place, which will allow us to be as diverse as the ecosystems we intend to repair and encourage positive changes in, by increasing biodiversity, increasing those different species and the ability to be resilient even under very intense circumstances like the arid Arizona sun in the summers, and the lack of water consistently being in drought. The first couple years, we probably will not be spending the summertime down in Arizona, although we may take brief trips down just to ensure that the swales and the gabions and everything are functioning correctly. But in the future, we won't be limited specifically to time periods. We'll be able to decide wherever we want to be at whatever time, and we'll go, allowing us some location freedom within our larger financial freedom goals. This property has a lot of work that needs to be done to it, specifically cleanup at the beginning. We've been to the property a few times now, but not really ever any amount of time where we could really accomplish very much. So this fall will be the first real get there, start to get things done, clean up the property, set up these gabions we'd like, start swales, figure out where we would like to potentially put a house, make sure the permitting processes are in place, and start building this homestead from the ground up. This will be an exciting process, and I invite you all to join us, subscribe, and like the channel if this interests you. And we look forward to adding hours of content throughout the next few months, the next 6 months, as the preparations for the move occur, and then again for those 6 months through the winter season while we build up each of these systems, and join in some conversations with the community at large and see where this goes. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear about your stories. And again, we are in Arivaca, Arizona, which is about an hour south of Tucson, a little more than an hour south of Tucson, through some pretty rugged back roads, through some gorgeous, gorgeous country and scenery. So again, we invite you and thank you for watching.
It is 10 times as gorgeous, isn't it?
It is very beautiful. I can't believe
10 times as good, right?
20.
Thank you.
My love.